what I did is I thought about having a camera following me, act as if, right? Act as if. People say fake it till you make it. Like, you don't need to do that. But what I needed to do is to act as if a camera is following me all day. What would they see? Would they see me playing with my dogs or doing the work? Would they see me sleeping or doing my work? Would they see me eating or, like I would actually feel like I had a camera on me 24/7 so that I would be so focused.
Guys, welcome to Keep On Pushing Stories, where, of course, we share with you real life stories of perseverance, inspiration, resilience, stick-to-itiveness. And look, today we have a treat. I have the honor to talk to my really good friend, Orly Amor. Orly, welcome to Keep On Pushing Stories.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Devon. We've known each other for a few years, so it's pretty cool to see you again.
Yes, indeed. It's been a while, but hey, let's take advantage of technology here.
Of course.
Ole, tell us, if you will, what it is that you do. How do you serve? How do you bring value to the lives of others?
Great question. So I am a business coach for public speakers and entrepreneurs, and the only one in the world that guarantees on paper that they'll make 150K their first year in public speaking, or I work with them until they do. My philanthropic side is that I also have a nonprofit called You Are My Light, and we are building healing centers for rescued victims of human trafficking, sex, and labor slavery.
Wow, that sounds like you have a full plate there.
Love it.
Tell me for both, how did you get interested in coaching public speakers, and how did you find your calling in terms of helping victims of human trafficking?
Sure. So the first part of my business, and that's how I'm able to give back, is speaking. So I've always been a speaker. I've been speaking full time for 27 years. Let's just put it that way. I'm 57, so let's get the numbers right. And it's like, maybe I look younger, like, oh, 27 years. When did you start? When you were 3? I get that a lot. So I'm 57, and basically when I was 30 years old, I started speaking in the property management world. And I was speaking for quite a while until one of my girlfriends asked me to speak at a women's shelter. And I didn't understand why she wanted me to speak because I said to her, what do you want me to speak about? Property management? She said, no, silly. I want you to tell your story. And I said, no, that's not going to happen. Anyways, she was very persistent. And you talking about persistence and perseverance, she was definitely that. And after about 3 weeks, I relented and I said yes, that I'll speak at her women's shelter and tell my story, which I did not want to do. A lot of us don't want to tell our story because of shame or feeling like an imposter or feeling that we're going to be judged, So I did not want to tell my story either. And so was my first time at the shelter where I told my story. And I'll share it with you if you'd like me to, but I told my story and there was not one eye dry in the place. And after I got done and I came off the stage, people were thanking me, which never happened to me in property management. So it was really a wake-up call until one lady came up to me and showed me a piece of paper where she decided that she was going to kill herself that morning. And after hearing me speak, she decided to live and asked me to show her how. Mm-hmm. That's when I realized that in the act of sharing, there's contribution. We don't know whose life we're going to change. So I pivoted and started talking, motivational speaking, telling my story more and more, became a certified behavior analyst. And then I spoke at an event in Arlington, Texas, where 3 speakers came over to me and said, aren't you Orly Amor? I said, yeah, do I know you? Sorry, I don't remember. And one of them said, no, we've never met before, but we've seen you on the circuit. And I said, oh, okay. And they said, well, after about 10 minutes, we started talking. And after 10 minutes, one of them said, I'm just curious, how did you get this gig? I said, I don't know. I called, I told them what I speak about, and they paid me, and I'm here. They all looked at me like if I had three heads. You got paid? And I said, oh my goodness, what did I just do? You guys didn't? They said, no, we got our expenses paid, but we didn't get paid. I said, oh no, I got paid and I got my expenses paid. So they said,
Right.
well, we want to know how you did that. And jokingly, Devon, I said, well, if I tell you, I'm going to have to charge you. But I was kidding. So before I could say just kidding, they said, okay, name your price. And I said, what? And so this fell on my lap because I went to the event planner and I said, listen, I think I screwed up. I just told these three guys that I got paid to be here. She said, shh, you're the only one who got paid. And I'm like, why? Why is that? She said, because they never asked. So a lot of, asking is important, right? In everything that we do. If the answer is no, it's no, but at least we ask. That's the first step.
Agreed.
And because I was so afraid of telling my story, which is, I'm going to give it to you in 13 seconds. I was a beaten up child. I was molested 4 times before the age of 14. I was raped 3 times before the age of 22, twice gang raped, 9 months apart, left for dead. I was also married to a very abusive husband, both mentally and physically. And as a result of that, I gained a morbid amount of weight. I was 428 pounds at my heaviest. There's more to it, but I decided to plunge into my education, to plunge into working hard. And nobody ever gave me anything, and nobody taught me the business of public speaking. So I had to learn it on my own. And that's how everything evolved. So that's how I got started.
There, awesome. And with your philanthropic work?
Well, in 2015, I was introduced to an organization that was going around the world sharing about human trafficking, how to look for the signs, what's the numbers and all that. I was blown away by knowing that children are getting, sexually abused or enslaved. And I did not know this existed. It was so foreign to me. But then I couldn't get it out of my head. When somebody puts an idea in your head and you can't get it out, I couldn't get it out. And in 2020, another girlfriend of mine shared with me what was going on politically and so on, and why this evil against God is going on. And in 2021, I had a nightmare where I woke up and I saw a man leaving with 2 little girls, and one on each side of his hands. And it kind of looked like the devil. I don't know how to explain it, but I woke up in a big sweat and fear. And after that, I realized that maybe that's my calling, to start something that will give hope to these children. I might not have been trafficked, but I do know what it's like not to have a voice, and when to scream, like no voice is coming out and you can't call for help and nobody hearing it. So I decided to start this foundation so that we can give them back their God-given right to life, freedom, education, and autonomy.
Indeed, indeed. So, Orly, if someone wanted to connect with you, maybe they want to benefit from your expertise as a speaking coach or to support your foundation work, how would they find you?
It's really easy, Orly Amor. So my website is meetorlyamor.com, meetorlyamor.com. And I'm on all social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, as I am Orly Amor, on X, everywhere, Facebook, anywhere you want to find me, you will. LinkedIn, big one. And for my foundation, it's called youaremylight.org. So Orly means you are my light in Hebrew. So it's youremylight.org.
Indeed. All right. Awesome. So we got a little insight into some of your life earlier, 13 seconds, so to speak. But tell us, though, maybe it's that story, maybe it's another one, like your keep on pushing story, a time in your life when you had to overcome a significant challenge, go through some significant change in order to make your life better. Please do tell us.
Yes. The thing is that we, as entrepreneurs or as human beings, we go through challenges in life. And, it's okay to fall down. It's not okay not to get up. So you can get up. And unfortunately, many people stay down or start talking, thinking about the past, what happened to me, and they live there. And unfortunately, that will never get them anywhere. They will stay where they are. And I learned that early on, that I don't want to give my perpetrators, because of course I have other stories of resiliency and perseverance and pushing through. But what is important to me is to always think about, do I want to give that thought or that person that hurt me power over me? And I think that would be my first indication of, anytime I think about it, I need to let it go. I need to move it aside. I need to know that I have a bigger purpose, because I believe we all have a purpose in this life, and it's not about us. It's about the bigger picture. And when we can think about the bigger picture, we can focus on it, just like a medalist does. The medalist is working so hard every day, hours upon hours, training in their sport, but they're only looking at one thing, is to get to the gold medal. But even if they don't try, if they don't do it, if they don't persevere through the pain and the exhaustingness of things, and this happens in business, this happens in everything in life. I've wanted to quit so many times in my business of public speaking, because I didn't know how to do it and nobody was teaching it. So I did it on my own, and I worked like 6 months, 12-hour days, until I cracked the code. It took time. Who would have been willing to do that with not one penny of revenue coming in? But that's what it means to persevere. That's what it means to stay focused. So I would believe that what I did was twofold. One, I wouldn't let anything in the past come back into my thought process. And two, I would know that there's a bigger picture. So I need to just focus on what I'm doing, and stop the noise around me. The naysayers, the what are you doing? You're crazy. My friend Bert Oliva says, crazy people succeed. Keep going.
Indeed, indeed. So, as you're working to learn the speaking business, and get your feet on the ground, not a penny coming in, as I said, what was your mindset? What was the thing that kept you going during this kind of challenging time?
Never give up. Don't give up. Whatever it takes, do whatever it takes. Never give up. Believe me, some of the work that I did was from my house. I had a beautiful home with a pool, my dogs, the fridge. My bed was not far away if I wanted to take a nap. You know what I mean? But it was not every time I wanted to do something else, like go swimming in my pool or playing with my dogs. It was, no, Orly, you keep going. I had to be kind of my own coach. And so what I did, which I think a lot of people would love, what I did is I thought about having a camera following me, act as if, right? Act as if. People say fake it till you make it. You don't need to do that. But what I needed to do is to act as if a camera is following me all day. What would they see? Would they see me playing with my dogs or doing the work? Would they see me sleeping or doing my work? Would they see me eating or, like I would actually feel like I had a camera on me 24/7, so that I would be so focused. It was hard. Some days were really hard. Some days I just didn't know what to do. Was I doing something wrong? So I had to shift and reshift my methodology to doing what I was doing, because I need to learn on my own. So maybe if I switch one word and tell that to the event planners, right? And that's how I got to perfect it, so other people now can do it 1 hour a day. So your question was very timely. Of course, you don't want to quit no matter what.
Mm-hmm. But you made a really good point there, because we hear that all the time, that you should, when you're going after your goals, when you have work to do the things that you would do as if someone else was watching you and judging you or evaluating you. So
Right.
imagine that you have a camera following you and people are kind of like on a live stream.
Right.
um,
Right.
is actually a pretty powerful strategy.
Thank you.
So what else would you suggest to someone? Or what was the biggest lesson you took away from those experiences? One, perhaps the first time you spoke and you realized that you were touching a life, to building your speaking business to the point now where you're teaching others to do the same.
I keep on remembering two things, but one that stands out is one that stands out is do what you set yourself to do. But the thing is that it's not about goals. And a lot of people think about things as goals. What I think about it is you need to have a plan. If you don't know where you are and you don't know where you're going, how will you know when you get there?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I used to do is journal. In the beginning, I didn't know how to journal. It was kind of like, okay, what do I write? Right. But it's like talking to a best friend without being judged, without being scrutinized, without being dissected, without having any rebuttals whatsoever. So I used to write about my day every night. Before bed, I used to go, okay, here are my challenges. What did I feel? How did I feel about it? What am I going to do about it? Because I didn't know who to talk to. I had no best friend that I can say, hey, I'm really struggling. I have no money. I don't know what to do. Right. And we don't want to tell people we have no money. We don't want to tell people we're not making it. We want to just say, hey, I'm doing great. I'm always having money. I'm traveling. I'm, having a life, a good life. But they don't know the pain we paid to get there. So I had to journal on that. And then I came up with a couple of books, but it took a while. And so what did I say to myself is that if I don't do it, who will do it for me? That's one of the things. So who is going to do it for me? You know that nobody's going to do it for you. You know
Yeah,
that you need to do
no
it
Calvary
yourself.
is coming to save you, right?
What?
No Calvary. The Calvary isn't coming to save you.
No, not coming to save you. Nobody. But you have to have faith. That's another thing that kept me going is having faith in God, that He has a plan for me, that He knows what I'm going through. He knows the pain I'm going through. And I prayed and I read my Bible every day. And that, like a lot of people say, oh, you're going to talk about God now. I'm like, no, but you have to have faith in something, faith in the universe, faith in God, faith in yourself, whatever you want to call it, your higher self. But you have to have faith. Because otherwise, what are we doing? Faith is much more than hope. I could be hoping to be a millionaire. Will I get there? I don't know. But having faith to be a millionaire, it's very different. Because once I have the money, what am I going to do with it? How many cars do you need? How many homes do you need? But eventually you got to pay it forward. So if you promise to pay it forward, everything comes.
Yeah. But having faith over hope, I agree, is completely different in terms of the actions that you take.
Mm-hmm.
Hope kind of gets you kind of sitting back, daydreaming, whereas faith gets you to take the actions that you need to take to achieve the goal, to get to where you want to go, because you believe,
Yeah.
feel it,
And
that
knowing.
doing the work will get you there eventually.
Yeah, of course. And faith is knowing things will be better or they are better. All you got to do is get through today because that's all you have is the present.
Yeah.
So one day at a time, stop thinking about how you're going to pay the bills at the end of the month. Think about what are you doing today to get the money to pay the bills at the end of the month. It makes
Is that one of the, I mean, the principles by which you live, one of the things that you have learned along your journey, that as you're going through challenges, try not to think too much about how difficult the road is ahead, but to kind of focus on the present
Yeah.
and getting through today?
Yeah, getting through today. But also, I don't think we give ourselves enough credit for how far we've come. It's okay to think about the future, maybe dream about it, have faith for it, work for it. But we've come a long way. We've in my book, The 12 Powers We Hold Within, the Mindset Mastery book, I talk about the first power is the power to bounce back. If we're still here, we were able to get through some really tough stuff.
Yeah.
But we don't give ourselves credit. We take it for granted. I'm sorry, just getting up in the morning is a good thing, don't you think?
I
So when people
absolutely
ask me,
agree.
how are you? I'm like, every day above ground is a good day, like
Yep,
keep
yep.
it simple.
I
And
talk about that all the time. If you stick your elbows out and you don't feel wood on either side, it's a good day.
well, if you're sticking your hands out and you feel wood, you're in the wrong place, you gotta get out.
No, but you're absolutely right, though, that even as we go through our challenges, sometimes we neglect to think about all the challenges that we overcame in the past, right? And you may
Yeah.
not be where you want to be, but look how far you have come.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like falling off a bike, right? When you learned how to ride a bike, you probably fell off of it once, right? And people forget that they fell. But you
yeah,
got up and you now know how to ride a bike. Not in my case, by the way, but I'm just saying, that's one of the things. Well, I got hit by a car with my, so I never went back on the bike, but
yeah.
I'm still here. And so you could be grateful. Gratitude is one of the biggest things. That's like your lifeline to God, is to be grateful for what you have now. However small, however minute it is, just being able to breathe freely. Think about it. What that's what I tell people. Do you rather be in a hospital plugged to a machine, or are you okay where you are right now? Oh, I'm okay where I am right now. Great. Are you
Yeah.
preferring to be in your house or maybe sleeping on a bench somewhere with no cover? And a lot of people say, no, of course I'm happy to be in my house. Great. So start with that feeling of gratitude that is simplified enough for you to appreciate what you have and what you know, and what you don't know will come. If you want to educate yourself, it'll come. But be grateful, be in the present moment.
I did hear that theme actually in as you were talking, the idea of being grateful. You know, Orly, it's been such a pleasure catching up with you. Thank you so much. You know, this idea that everyone has a story and that your story can impact the lives of others. And as we connect with and accept and embrace our story, it makes us more powerful, allows us to be servants, allows us to push ourselves to the next level, which is clearly what you have done. Your story is definitely the epitome of this idea of keep on pushing, resilience, perseverance, stick to itiveness. Um, Continue to shine as you have always done. Thank you for
Thank
gracing
you.
us and keep on pushing stories.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
Indeed. Stay well.